All right. So, yesterday's dialogue was about chakras and showing how the chakras map onto the first four stages of the religious experience. And then we got into Kundalini questions because that's related. So we brought in the Kundalini component, and then during the afternoon sit, I had a nice solid blast of the Kundalini that kept me sitting for 2.5 hours. From what I looked at my watch before I sat, and then when I got up, and it turned out to be 2.5 hours.
I lost about an hour and a half there then. Man.
Well, that's what happens. You know, it's that time-space dilation when you're having a good meditation. The thing is I have these joint chronic arthritic pain thing, and for the last few days I've had really difficulty with joint pain. So I haven't been able to sit for very long. You know, maybe an hour max, I think, is what I've been able to do. But yesterday morning, my back was pretty good. Remember, I had that release, 2 days ago.
Yeah, I mean.
And that, you know, I still have a problem in the center of my back, but at least my lower back was in shape, you know.
Good.
So, and the Kundalini, the interesting thing about the Kundalini, it's posture is what I wanted to talk about. And posture and Kundalini. So, I found for myself that the Kundalini will rise more readily if my posture is, you know, good, that I've got an erect spine, and adjusting your pillow is really important, getting just the right angle. And what I do is I kind of roll my pillow, I use a wool blanket, and I roll that up so that it wraps around my butt, and that seems to lock the base of my body in place, and having the rear elevated a little bit over the knees seems to help. And that way then I can kind of push the lower part of my stomach out a little bit. My chest is open, and then and also I got this from yoga class and dance class, this idea that there's a thread or a rope attached to the chest, and so that we have this kind of open feeling, and that seems to help my Kundalini rise. So when I've got my posture good, then the Kundalini may or may not rise. It's not going to be every time. Remember, you were talking the other day about it's waves, and it really is. It's not every time you're gonna get the jackpot. But you also know, I think, Michael, that every time you meditate, you're going to get some level of jhana. And I think probably that level of jhana is at least the second, if not the third. Yeah. And that's the case it is for me.
Right. If I sit for an hour, third's pretty much guaranteed.
Right, there you go. And that's the other thing, is that the sit just needs to be a fair amount of time. Although if the rocket, the Kundalini rocket comes along, well, it could happen in the first 5 minutes or or it may take an hour. And that reminds me of the other thing is, so you really have to show up to meditate because you never know when that Kundalini rocket's going to be ready to go, right? Yeah. You just have to show up. All right, so back to posture. Posture we could look at as part of that set and setting. And in fact, remember we did walking meditation a couple days ago, and we did standing meditation. Same thing. Posture is actually really important, I believe, at that point, to create that proper environment for deeper meditation.